Right, continuing our series of not only the 2025 Velocet Owners Club Australia rally, but on South Australian towns. We're at this absolute gem, which is called Martindale Hall. Now, we'll tell you more about Martindale Hall as we get closer to it, but we thought we'd show you the grand entrance from the tree-lined gardens, an opulence of that is rarely seen or afforded these days. When it was built at the time, it cost £30,000, and there was 10,000 acres or something of land around it. Come drought, things like that, and unfortunately the whole lot was sold for £33,000. Now, brought a whole team of workers out from England, stonemasons. They spent a year. In fact, they spent almost 2 years. It went over time. 23 months they took to construct it, and it has something like 35 rooms, and looks like the lady up there really wants to move us along and get us there. And of course the Velocet, ladies and gentlemen, are parked out on the lawn here overlooking the house. So what a magnificent view to have all these Velocets lined up here outside Martindale Cottage. So we might just move in between them here a little bit and get a view with some of these lovely Velocets leading up to the doorway. We'll try and cut the odd BMW and things like that out. So this is Martindale Hall. Was originally bequeathed to the University of Adelaide, I think. They couldn't manage it, so they gave it away to the government. You know, when you give something to the government, problems. Right, now we're going to go into Martindale Hall. Look at this, lovely ladies lining both sides. So let's proceed into it. And with a bit of luck, we won't see Malacostas here, or whatever he calls himself. And certainly we wouldn't want to see someone like Dan Andrews in a home like this. So what looks like she's only letting you in at a time. Well, let's go on.
After the rain, and we've got sheep. Oh, sheep around.
Is that Sharon, is it?
I'm Sharon. Now, for the ladies, we've got to let you know that no bags are allowed. It's part of the government regulation. So if you take your purse out, we have got a cupboard. We've got a cupboard, but you take your purse out. That's part of the bag. It's got to be a hand.
No bags.
No bags.
I did. I've already used that. I've used that joke, guy.
Not have their bags.
Oh, it can't
Be able to wander through the rooms freely. Well, we get you to take anything out and you're out. If it's not, but there'll be other bags.
You don't have to. Anybody else wants a bag, I'll just run on the first bike and run back.
So this is part of the second group.
Yeah, first.
Round and have a look. There is the coach house down
Right, and now we see these Velocets all outside Martindale. No smoking, No bags allowed inside, no flash photography, but you are allowed to videotape and you can use normal cameras. So this is Martindale. Strictly only a small group in at a time, so people are waiting here. So we're sitting outside the residence here at the moment. We're sitting outside the residence here.
We have to have these.
Fighting the flies off, and we're all banded. So just hope that there is no little he lambs here, because we've been banded, and there might be it sheep after we've all been banded. So Martindale was, like I said, given to the university. They couldn't handle it, so they gave it to the government. And the government has all these regulations. You can't take a bag inside. Okay, but anyhow, we're not worried about that. We're going inside to have a look. And this is a real treat for Martindale Hall to see all these English Baeossas sitting on their front lawn. Sorry about jumping around, but there's numerous flies, way too many flies. They won't fly away, pun. Now, like I said, we're at Martindale Hall, and clever people would have realised by now that Martindale Hall was used in that famous Australian movie Picnic at Hanging Rock. So somewhere up in the hills there is where the girls disappeared for their picnic and never returned. So you might like to research Picnic at Hanging Rock and find out where did they disappear to. Because we're at Martindale Hall and we want to know where the girls disappeared to. So it's pretty shocking, but it's a lovely building, but it holds some deep secrets. And all these people, will they go inside and come out, or will they be lost inside? Look, a whuppie dog. I don't think whuppie dogs are allowed inside, but nevertheless, and these people weren't allowed to take their motorbikes inside. There was no motorbike parking. I am making a video for the world.
Put him in the video with the bikes at the back.
I have.
Yeah.
And we've mentioned numerous times that Norbert, who is world famous because he's married to Anne of the Goodman family, who made these lovely Baeossas. And it's a great privilege. We just haven't got Anne at the moment, but we have Norbert, and we have some other people there who own lovely collections.
And do that, and do that.
Oh yeah, that's the way we do it.
Alright, so this is Norbert
I'll take
Frampton, and Norbert, like I said, is married to Anne Frampton, and that goes back to Bertie Goodman. So how's that for history? Who else would be able to have people famous like that outside Martindale Hall for the Voca Rally 2025? Right, we're inside Martindale Hall, and we're just going to have a look at the parquetry on the floor and the grand staircase as you come in, and up to the top. Now, like I said, they brought the stonemasons and builders out from England. It took 23 months to build this home. Well, it's got 35 rooms and 35 bedrooms in it, but nevertheless, they do have half-price souvenirs here. So if you're an op shop person, you come out Martindale, you pay your $20 to the government. Come to think of it, they made a lot of money this morning, $20 a head. Wow. So let's go and have a look around for our $20 and see what we can get. Now, we see all these people here. And we see a lovely chair there, and an urn. It says, please do not touch. tells you nothing about it, okay? Oh, this is where they're serving afternoon tea for us. So if it looks familiar, probably means you've been invited to my place. Have a little drinky there. Uh-oh, shipwreck on the English coast. Now, do we have Alfred Meakin here, or what brand do we have? Not allowed touch. No, it's not fragile. Use it at home. So this is the afternoon tea room, dining room. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And of course the head table. Fake fruit, and this is a reception room, typical. And the piano to play there.
Anyone needs to sit down, feel free to sit on that red chair. That's that red chair, you can sit on there. There you go. Martindale was built in 1879 by young Edmund Bowman. When young Edmund Bowman was 11, his father on Martindale Station here, some 9,500 acres, they've been complaining of busy spells. He was crossing the Wakefield River on the property. It was flooded at the time. They believed he had a busy spell and he fell in and drowned. Young Edmund was then sent to England with his younger brother to do his schooling at Cambridge in England. And obviously, while he was in Cambridge, he must have fell in love with the English lifestyle. At the age of 21, he inherited Martindale Station and some £320,000. To give you an idea how much money that is in today's terms, in dollars, $120 million. Not a amount of money for a young 21-year-old. He commissioned an architect to design Martindale in London. Italian Georgian influence. We've got 50 craftsmen from England brought out with them back to Australia. He hired a dozen carpenters in Victoria and 2 from South Australia who've done the stairs in the Baeossa Strait, the South Australian ones, and they built Martindale here in 23 months from start to finish. All hand tools, right? So, and it cost them £30,000. Going back to the money, £30,000 would have built 120 houses. So he could have built a town for the cost of this building. Right? As I said, it has 32 rooms. 7 of those rooms are in the cellar, which unfortunately you can't go in because it's only one entry exit. Feel the coolness from this building? That's the air from the cellar. It comes up through the cavities in the walls, and all the windows have air vents either side. So it's a built-in natural air conditioning system. Had hot and cold running water. They pumped the water from a permanent spring to a 95,000 gallon tank up on the hill behind the property, and it was gravity fed. It went through a boiler system in the old laundry, up through a pipework, condensed into a tank in the ceiling, and they had hot water upstairs. Well, it wouldn't have been hot, it'd just been warm. But back for them days, it was pretty good. All the lighting was gas. They had a carbide gas plant on the property, and they plugged the gas into the building, so all the original lighting was gas. Flushing toilets, even though they didn't use it, they still used the commodes, but it still had flushing toilets. Had a polo field out the front, had a cricket pitch where the English left to play an exhibition game here in 1901, had a racetrack, had a bowling lane, had a polo field, had a live air coursing track where they used to be very sports orientated, young Bowman. Bowmans were here, he was here for 10 years, 11 years, he was doing really well in this particular property. Then South Australia got gripped in the drought. Along came a depression. All the commodity prices plummeted. Young Edmund made all his money from wool. Wool prices plummeted. He couldn't service his debts. He started selling off all his assets. He wasn't the only one. There was a lot of other people in the same boat. He tried to hang on to Martindale, but he couldn't. In the end, he had to sell it, put it up for auction, and he tried to get £44,000 for it. He didn't get a bid. Up rode Tenant Mortlock from Adelaide, 3-day horse ride, so the story goes. Knocked on the front door. The housekeeper thought he was looking for work and a handout or a fee. Sent him round the back. He said, come here to my Martindale. And he bought Martindale that day for £33,000. So he got a £30,000 home, 10 years old, a 9,500 acre farm with all the infrastructure, for £33,000. And he bought it as a wedding gift for his wife Rosie. It's again, the story goes, these stories are started by locals, I'm sure, that he had the money in his saddlebags. Rubbish. He would have signed a cheque. He bought this as a wedding present for his wife Rosie. Now, speaking of Rosie, she was very generous with her money, very class orientated. Everyone had their place with Rosie. And Rosie used to get a dress made. She'd buy all the materials so no one else could copy her dress. And the story is Rosie had all the material boxed down in the cellar. Right, they were here for 10 years. The Morlocks were here for 75 years. They had 6 children here. 4 of those children died under the age of 9, and their locals called this the House of Sorrow. The 2 surviving sons, Ransom died at 35. He fell off a boat in Colombo Bay, Sri Lanka, or Ceylon back then, and his other brother, his eldest brother, John Morlock, everyone called Jack, he died at the age of 55 in 1949. He ran the property with his mother Rosie. Right? They ran the Martindale station here. A young woman came up here called Dorothy Beach. She was an accountant, worked for Elders Farm, done all the bookwork for Morlocks. She got the relationship with Jack. Serious relationship. It wasn't a little fling. It was serious. But Jack wouldn't propose because Rosie, everyone has their place with Rosie, said, "You don't marry a high fellow." She wanted Jack to marry someone higher station in life. Maybe another pastoralist or someone, you know, with a bit of upper class backing, I don't know. Mum died. Jack proposed. Dorothy said no. She refused to marry him out of principle, I think. 9 years after he proposed, they did get married, and poor old Jack died 14 months after that. And I think the only reason they got married, they knew Jack was sick. You know, he had lung cancer. They knew he was going to die. Dorothy would have been out the door with nothing if they weren't married. So they married to make sure everything's rich. So she inherited the lot. Prior to her inheriting it all, she was the main trustee. It was all bequeathed to the Adelaide University. She had plenty of money. She was left really very well. Young Jack died in 1949, 50. Dorothy stayed here till 1965, decided to move out, took what she wanted, gave a pile of stuff away, and just left all the rest. So this is it. So everything you see in here is Morlocks. All the artwork upstairs, downstairs is original, except for the billiard tables. When they built Martindale, they put the billiard table in, then they completed the wall afterwards. When Edwin sold all his furnishings, he couldn't get that billiard table. A couple of things of note. The fireplace from the drawing room on a Paris art show in 1873, and the Bowmans bought it for this building for £75. All the wallpaper's original William Morris wallpaper, made in London for this building. A couple of things. Up above the fireplace in the autumn room, there's a picture of 2 dogs. Every hair on those dogs is hand stitched still. That'd be my favourite piece in here. Back in the day, this place had 14 servants to look after 2 people. 4 of them lived in the building. They were on call 24 hours a day, and the other 10 came in daily. How would you have that? 14 people looking after you.
Right, we're now going up the grand staircase. Everything, carpets were made, the wallpaper was made in England, all for this house. And it's all original, so pause and let you have a look at the carpet. Right. So we're up to the top level now. These are the bedrooms, families that lived there, staff quarters. Some place we're not allowed to go to. So this is typical of a staff bedroom. Domestic female. Have a nice little view out over the garden. A cup of tea. Dressing table. Wash basin. They did have hot water in there. And a stove to keep it warm. single bed. Bible beside the bed. Sitting room. My staff could gather and chat. Read some good literature there. Staff on call 24/7. I'll have a look in this room. Dining room. Servants there. I'd say this be servants' dining room. Historic photographs there at Martindale Hall. On 240 volt power in here now. So could look at this radio. So we could listen. Coach house, which we saw down the paddock there. This cookhouse and stables out in the grounds. So this is what most fellas owners have at home, a home like this. We won't show you every single room in here, but this is a sewing room. Just try and pick out a few different things. This lady at the house had all her dresses made individually, so that no one else had the same thing. So there'd be a seamstress, which not only made her dresses, but also kept the fabric at the house, curtains, covering lounges, all done by hand. So, there's the sewing machine there. And this is for a double bedroom. This is a bit flash. And we're opened at Judges, chapter 16, verses 15. So all the good people read the Bible every night, probably Lutherans, and they had this view out into the grounds.
No, it's the transition. Yeah.
So this is the married quarters. Now we're coming here to what no doubt would have been the owner's bedroom. Lounge chair to sit in front of the fire. The double bed, cast iron. And no doubt they looked out and they wondered why there's so many motorcycles here. And they realised this was the bathroom. Had hot water, and look at that. The master's bath. Hot water in it, hot and cold water, all plumbed. Little commode there. Wash basin. Oh, madam's got her clothes off. She must be somewhere. Yeah. And then he and she would have retired here to the bed. So that is what is happening in the master bedroom. That's the master and his wife. Now, typical era, you always had guests in places like this. And this is the main guest room. Afternoon tea served there. And fire to keep everyone warm. And done. The puppy dog's there, watching you. And this is the original wallpaper. Goes around the place. And no doubt they also had a bathroom. Or was going, oops, there's someone in the bathroom, but commode and washstand, and also opposite the master bedroom, the main guest room, and a bath there. You might recall a very famous bath that was featured on one of my YouTube clips some time ago. Also from a movie. That's looking out over the main entrance. Once again, looking out over the Baeossa of the 2025 Australian Rally. Alright, now we'll move into the nursery here. Nursemaid would have stayed here the whole time to watch over the children. A little eating stand there, and a guest is still sitting there waiting for their breakfast. Hope they hadn't waited too long. The children's toys here, a spinning top, elves, a gollywog, toys all around the bed for the baby. Bedclothes there, and it's jammies, and of course, like we said, the christening gown. The nursemaid would have been here on call 24/7, and some children's books there for them to read. So that's about all we're going to see upstairs, so I think it's time to go downstairs again. Alright, and just off the main dining room, of course, one needed to have a drink. So whatever you wanted, whether it's gin or champagne, it would all be available here in the private drinks preparation area. But of course there's extensive cellars also. Alright, so we're just having a quick look in to the kitchen. Lovely stove there. And once again, that look out over the back of the property. Now, being a government building, there's certain rules and regulations, and that's the black hole of the Treasury of South Australia. Well, not really, it's the cellars at Martindale Hall, and many a secret is hidden down there that's not available to the general voting public. So we can't go down the cellars because Malacosta's probably got his money down there. There's a bit modern fire system in it. Manager's office. Okay. We'll go off into the... We'll show you the restrooms here. I'm sure everyone wants to see the restrooms. Oops. We can't really, because they're occupied at the moment. But as soon as they're not occupied, we'll show you the public restrooms. They did have flushing toilets here, we were told, but not that the staff and management used. So that's restrooms. We'll go to the library, and that's your tour. So here's the library. This is the billiard table that was so big that when it was put in here, then the room was built around it. So you weren't able to take it out. Extensive books here. You name it, and the books are here. And this is the very large billiards table. Martindale stud merinos up there. Martindale over there. Won a lot of prizes. That's what it was. So they put their famous rams here in the library, and they could play snooker. Very large table. Very and then into the front sitting room. Hunting was big, but being the government, they have decommissioned all the guns because the people might rise up against the government if they didn't do something like that. It's called power hungry. So these are the collections that got on these extensive travels around the world, and if you want a game at snooker, I think it lasts about 10 seconds. This is original, made from mahogany. Italian slate, I'd say. All my Italian slate in billiard tables. And a scoreboard here. Stevenson Sons on London. And the thing to note about the billiards table, snooker table, is it was the only original item left when the property was sold up. Why was it left? It was too big to get out. Just no way to get out. It was placed in here, and the house built around it. Right, so that's been your tour of Martindale Hall, and you see all these villa sets that people standing around talking. So we might leave it at that. And as we leave Martindale, we're going to close the door on this chapter at the Baeossa Rally for 2025 on day 3.